All right, welcome aboard the Season 6 Fantasy League Super Bowl. It's effectively the final thing we're doing for Madden 25 before Madden 26 comes out on Thursday. A little bit late to the shenanigans of FIFA, but again, if you got to put a gun to my head, FIFA shenanigans, be on time for Madden, I'm picking Madden. Madden could have one viewer. I'd still rather do that. Listen, tonight, a huge game. As the reigning defending Fantasy League Super Bowl champion in Big Newff takes on a newcomer in Sean Tilla. The Titans against the Packers here tonight. 16-1-0 for Sean Tilla. And the Packers, 15 wins, 2 losses for Newff. And the Titans looking to defend the Super Bowl successfully for the first time in Fantasy League history. Of course, we go over and talk about the underdogs first of all in this one tonight. Newff, of course, the Canadian, coming in with the 21st best pass offense in the league, the second best rush offense in the league, second best pass defense in the league, and the second best rush defense in the league. He has everything that you could need on that defensive side of the ball. When you talk to Batistuta in particular, he says that his defense is just a level above everyone when it comes to this league, to this division. He comes in, of course, today with Anthony Richardson as quarterback, Kenneth Walker in at running back, Terrence Ferguson as the tight end, wide receivers 1-2 of Devonta Smith and Keon Coleman. There's a big drop-off after that. Offensive line, you've got David Bakatari, if he's still alive and not retired, Zion Johnson, Kingsley Sumatea as the standout names. Defensive line is just phenomenal, though. Quinnen Williams, Josh Hines Allen, Jermaine Johnson, the second at the edge rusher depth. Linebackers, you've got Nolan Smith Jr., Quincy Williams, Dalen Hanley in there as well. And the secondary, one of the best in the Fantasy League, Greg Newsome, Trayvon Diggs, Sidney Brown, and Dax Hill are the notable names. Going over to Tilla, though, he has said, this season he feels like he's got upper level, itching to get into this Super Bowl game today. 16 wins, 1 loss. There was almost a kind of bit of banter and joking back and forth between Pickens and Tilla a few weeks ago, where I think Pickens described it as saying that his doomsday playbook had spawned another incredible player, i.e. maybe indicating that maybe Pickens has had his helping hand in the success over at Green Bay in the Fantasy League. In the charts, though, Tilla comes in today with the 15th best passing offense in the league, but the best rushing offense in the league. Likewise, defensively, 17th in the league for passing defense, but the best rush defense in the league. His only loss, keep in mind as well, 45-14 to Minnesota, which I believe was a sub. Same for Newff. I think both of his losses were when he was out of town and a sub as well. Team for the Green Bay Packers looks like this. It is Will Levis at quarterback, Ollie Gordon, the MVP from this season, at running back. Fullbacks and tight ends, you got Evan Engram as the main man as the tight end slot there. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian Watson, Kyle Williams as the wide receivers. The offensive line, Rashawn Slater, Tyler Smith, Colton Miller, Mike Onwenu. That is probably the best defensive line in the Fantasy League, in my opinion. Defensive line is, again, right there. Myles Garrett, JT Tumalau, Tuli Tupalotu, a lot of Hawaiians and Samoans in there. Byron Murphy the second. Linebackers, maybe a little bit light in the linebacker room. Byron Young and Carson Schweinsinger are the only two maybe notable names, but the secondary also a little bit light actually as well. Tariq Woolen and Zion McCollum. After that, it's Jair Brown as the kind of free safety. That's the next notable name. So maybe more gaps in the squad of Green Bay than potentially the Titans. But again, you leave it down to your own impersonation of each team, or interpretation, excuse me, of each team. The Neon today predicting this Super Bowl 6 to finish 37-31 to the Green Bay Packers. They say that the Canadian, Big Newff, will not retain this Super Bowl. It will be a 6-point game, but only time will tell if that is the truth or not. Batty, what do you make of this one? Do you believe in that 6-point scoreline? Do you believe in Newff to retain? Or do you think Sean Tilla's got this one in the bag today? What do you think?
I think he's definitely up against it. I think, Newff is going to be the overwhelming favourite in my eyes. You alluded to it there. I just think his defence is a level above everybody else in the league. But Tilla has played some phenomenal Madden this season. He was one of the better players last year, but then has kind of taken a step up and has done a really good job of containing, controlling the clock, mirroring Pickens, as you could say, and like mirroring the playbook as well. So he's just taken, a few hints and kind of ideas, melded them into his own off a guy that's been successful in the league, and it's worked out for him. But yeah, I truly believe this Titans defense could just win games by itself. And then, you've got the ability of Newff's playmakers on offense with, you know, Kenneth Walker, etc. So yeah, it's going to be a tough job for them, and you know, it's about a high pressure game. You know, I think these guys have probably both had what, a 5-6 day break of not playing Madden.
Yeah.
So it's gonna, you know, how much have you played in between your championship game to the Super Bowl? There's a lot of little storylines and factors here to end the year on what should be a fantastic game.
One thing we've done as well is we've got no sound today in this one from Tilla because you can't fix that. So we've got the German ultras from FIFA in giving us crowd noise in the background tonight, so it's not too eerie. Of course, if you're unfamiliar with who is who, Big Newff, the Canadian who won the Super Bowl last season in the blue with his beloved Tennessee Titans tonight. Sean Tilla coming out in the white, green, and yellow of Green Bay. I think tonight, Batty, as well, it's a case of maybe also Madden fatigue. Madden 26 out effectively on Thursday for both of these guys. Will that play a factor for you, or do you think they'll be too focused on what's at stake here, winning the Super Bowl, putting their name in that kind of bracket of champion status?
I think it's important for both of them. You know, Newff will then have 3 across both leagues, and Tilla can himself put himself in that bracket of, you know, higher bracket of people that could probably, you know, because I'll probably put Tilla in a bracket if he was in a franchise. He'd probably, you know, be in, depending on division, in and out of, you know, that playoff hunt. I don't know if he'd be a solidified division winner, depend, but I would absolutely have him going for like the 6th or 7th seed every season. So, but again, I think he's taking a step up from that level, and this is just a good test for him. You don't get to play, you know, defenses this kind of complex in the fantasy league, so how much has he warmed up against people that are good defensively? How much is
that's
he
a
studied
huge drop there, is that read option, which was left to the quarterback, ends up being dropped down and forces Newff to punt. So good defense there. Do you think as well, we talk about a level up, you know, a level up, an increase in quality? Tilla, of course, had 2 spells in the franchise league, effectively kind of dropped out of the franchise league both times. The first time after, I think, being disappointed with his own performances, and then the second time after he missed the playoffs by 1. So a bit of an explosive temperament from Tilla. 2 spells in the franchise, 2 spells in the fantasy. But do you think this time round in this Super Bowl against a established franchise league player like Newff, who is returning to the franchise league in 5 days' time, do you think that Tilla has more of a chance now because he's become more acclimatized to the game? Again, as I said earlier on, with the build-up, you know, there is that kind of, you know, that narrative that maybe Pickens is giving him the kind of secret weapons of the playbook. Do you think that gives him an added, you know, an added kind of weapon to his arsenal, or do you think that won't really be anything to kind of think too much on?
I think it's kind of a very loaded question, I suppose, but like.
Oh, he's over, and that's going to be a touchdown here, Batty. I think Taylor all the way, dropped down onto the 10. Will Levis with one big one right off the rip there, audible down from that tight end spot, Ohio, into effectively 4 verticals there, and gets a huge gain, puts it on the 10-yard line instantly.
Yeah, it's more about the pre-snap. He's, you know, worked very well on. You know, he did that a lot against me. Where, you know, he would come out in something and then see what I was out in, and then audible. But, you know, playbook is essentially everything too. Like, you see a lot of the people that are successful in both leagues because they have plays that they have that, you know, a high percentage, and they work for a certain amount of time until, you know, the league kind of clocks on and then snuffs them out, which is exactly how I think this game will go in the first place. I think, you know, Tilla will probably be the more explosive, and then as it goes on, you're going to get into the kind of gritty area that Tilla's not been in before. Newff's team will start to, you know, hit second half gear.
There's that defense you talked about, though, Batty. Josh Hines-Allen dropping him for a sack, and in the end, it looks like Tilla, who was on that 10-yard line thinking about a touchdown, is now going to have to take his 3 points, and that's what Newff is so good at. Red zone defense, we saw it multiple times, but even when he was back at the Chicago Bears, he's phenomenal at that, isn't he? Yeah,
he's very, like, he's very, very good at, like, marking these deep out routes, the return routes, the zig routes, you know, the things that are around the sticks. So I'm not surprised that we kind of saw this Packers offense get a big play on Newff, because he probably wasn't expecting it, you know. But now he, you know, the four Vuts is always a threat with this Green Bay offense. He's got Christian Watson, he's got another couple of speedy receivers, and Will Levis has got an absolute cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be wary of it, but equally his DBs are probably up to the challenge, you know, and as long as he can kind of prevent the over the top on defense, the D line of this Titans team is undoubtedly the best in the league. So yeah, it's going to be an important drive for Tilla. I think if he can kind of stuff this Titans offense again, maybe he gets a bit of flustering on this, but he's going to need close coverage like that. And I don't know, I feel like the Green Bay team's sticking to him quite well at the minute. I don't know what your opinion on that is.
I think confidence for me is a big thing as well. Talking to Newff very much said to me, and that's a huge sack that drops him for 5. Newff very much said to me before this, not today, but before this kind of game happened, I think 4 or 5 days ago, that he was kind of so burnt out with 25, and he didn't think that he was going to have a good performance here. I don't know if that was him maybe just playing possum and trying to get some mind games going, but he didn't feel or seem very confident going into this game. And well, maybe we're seeing why. As a floated ball there is brought in. That's a throw from the Newfoundland native. What a floater that is, Batty. Completely made, I think, Tilla's eyes look towards the underneath, and then just uses that brilliant throw down the centre to get the fresh setter down to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, that was pretty much all he had on there as well. You know, they're both good at the double unders there. You know, you'll see that kind of concept from the both of them a fair amount, and they're both equally going to clock onto it when they see it and come down and cover the outside receiver. So that wasn't on, and then he just made a brilliant throw to the back shoulder, kind of down the seam in between the safety zones, and brought it in, and now you're probably guaranteed a field goal at least. But you know, he'll be looking at that end zone. But equally, this packet. Oh my God!
And he's hit on the throw there, Batty, and that there causes Schweisinger to get the interception, and that is not ideal. And I think an injury following that also. He seems like he was holding his ribs there slightly, but hit on the throw that causes the ball to tumble in the air, and then just like that, Green Bay get the ball back. Huge from Tilla and Green Bay.
Yeah, massive. Absolutely massive. Big sack. Oh, that was a pick. That was absolutely a pick. If that goes off, we're going to see it go back the other way.
The one thing I'll say for Newff on offense, just to go back to that, is you think maybe he's a little bit fearful of Tilla's run defense, #1 in the league? Because you haven't seen really Newff run the ball whatsoever so far, have we?
Yeah, I mean, I had like, we both had pretty, you know, decent success. When I played against him in the championship, like, I managed to run the ball better than I expected. So yeah, I think, you know, you got to put faith, and you got to get the ball in the hands of Kenneth Walker. You know, he might not necessarily have the runs that you normally have on against this defense, but second half, you know, might get a bit tired, and you start to run to the outside a little bit more.
3rd and 10 years, that's Ziggs being looked for. That's an absolute dot. Oh, it's incomplete. Would you challenge that, Matty?
I think I would, mate, yeah.
Oh, well, maybe he's going to...
I think I would.
Maybe he's going to give it a go. Maybe he's going to try it, but I think he's opted to punt here, so Tilla not opting. I thought he was in. I'll be honest as can be, but I think he was in. I think he had both feet in, but Newff gets picked off, and then his excellent defense again, coming back to the forefront, and then recovers the ball down on the 40-yard line exactly. A real chess match so far between these two, though. Good defense from both users thus far.
Yeah. I think the defense of both teams is pretty well matched. You know, the linebacker core, even the D-line of this Packers team is phenomenal. It's not quite, you know, the D-line's not quite a Titans level, but yeah, it's going to be all about these weapons.
Oh, I think and again there, Matty, I think he right stick the wrong way.
He's hesitating, yeah.
He juked towards that left-hand side rather than the right, which is confusing.
I think you're right. I think Tilla's just a slightly more confident of the one of the two of them at the minute, and once you get a couple of decent plays under your belt, you're pretty
Oh
much
no,
unpicked.
oh my god,
Oh my
how
word.
has he gotten away with that then? How has he gotten away with that then? The PA boot almost goes through
dear.
a hoop. Tilla's player made a ring with his hands. The ball went through the ring and into Newff's hands. Well, Tilla's going to be a little bit annoyed with that one. For Newff though, Batty, if you're not filled with confidence, to only be 3-0 down, not bad.
Yeah, something's telling me that, like, maybe I've got the run of the green here at the minute if something like that happens. Yeah, I mean, he did get a bit unlucky with the hit into the pick.
Yeah.
It was a kind of 180 locker pick as well. It was a good switch stick and, click on by Tilla, but it's,
Tell you what, the number 77, they gave up on that assignment. That was horrendous. Just completely.
He did, mate. He was like,
bitched
fuck
out to
that.
Green Bay.
I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Absolutely. I'd be furious if that was my lineman, but there you go. On to the 34. Again, credible field goal range, at least for Tilla. That's the way, for Newff, excuse me. That's the way he'll be thinking. Just doesn't want to throw another pick. So far, it's been a nightmare in that passing game for Newff in terms of his consistency. 2nd and 7 on the 34. As the Titans getting ready to hand this one off to the left-hand side, and that's a great run there. Kenneth Walker eats a hit there, but gains 20 yards from the 34 to the 14, Batty, just like that. That man blitz timed horrendously from Tilla there.
That's kind of what I was kind of saying earlier. Is I noticed when I was playing him that if I was to run the ball, I was probably getting a max of 5 yards down the middle. But if Nick Chubb was a little bit more agile, if I had Nick Chubb 3 years ago, I would have ran for a lot more. But just down to a little bit lack of agility, lack of speed, I wasn't able to get to the edge. But you got an X factor, Kenneth Walker, and he's got every ability you want on a running back. So
left-hand side again, Kenneth Walker spinning, only getting 3 yards that time though. 3rd and 6, and now Tilla's red zone defense here going to be very much the focal point. 6 yards required. You would think Tilla would have this underneath covered up and clogged up here, but easier said than done against Newff as that one is risky. 9 yards, and you'd think he'd take the field goal here, and make it 3-3.
Yeah, you absolutely took it. I think both of these guys want to be on defense at the minute. It's kind of how it feels. But
there you go. Field goal is good. Was never going to not be good. 3-3 as we venture into the kind of final 5 minutes of this first half. I mean, when you thought about this game, did you think it would be a high-scoring one? Did you think it would be a low-scoring one? What kind of Super Bowl did you have in your mind in the build-up to this?
I had I would put the over-under total points at about 48.
Okay.
I would personally I would have gone maybe 24-17 if I was to make a prediction. Just because of how well they both that we've seen it in this game, just the red zone defense. They both had opportunities to definitely get in the red zone, and just the D lines are playing their part at the minute. This X Factor. Oh my God.
Just shredded through there, didn't he, Batty? That was something.
Didn't stand a fucking chance.
Didn't stand a chance. The O-line
couple of these guys get cooking on that O-line, or on that D-line, and it's just, you go from having 2.5 seconds to having 1.5. It's crazy.
Yeah. Handoff didn't help, though. It was a really long one, that one. It allowed Newff just to kind of slice and dice through, but still, great start on defense for him. 2nd and 13. On the 27th.
Spread this defense out a little bit. Yeah.
Where will he go? The outside dig then. Nope. Maybe going to go to Ollie Gordon, the MVP. And in the end, only gets 3 yards. 3rd and 10 on the 30. So a 3rd and long situation again. And Tilla, before he knows it, may well be having to punt this football away again. He needs 10 yards, or at least maybe 8 yards to make it feel comfortable. Let's see what he can do here. 30-yard line, lining up the cannon A, looking open, and that there is an easy one. A complete crosser's route there, and Evan Engram brings that one in and down. Nice completion there indeed from Tilla. Gets it up into the 48.
He paid a lot of money for that man in free agency. He's one of the only major names kind of in the pool, and he's shown up on big 3rd downs throughout the whole season, so not surprised to see Evan Engram there at all.
That hit there
No,
sees him get
they're both averaging like 3 yards a run through the middle, man.
Yeah,
It's
it is very much both of these two tonight have shown up with their... Well, you know what? No, I'm going to walk that back. Because realistically, although it looks that way, I think Tilla's run defense hasn't been as highly touted and rated as what I'd expect it to be. That 20-yard run from Kenneth Walker earlier on, you know, it's something where I think if Newff continues with those outside runs periodically, not consistently, but just kind of starts to sprinkle them in there, I think he can continue to get 5, 10, and then maybe 20, 25 yards on Tilla, especially if Tilla is so frequently open to man blitz like he did when he was in the red zone. Well, it's going to be this RPO to the right side. Is that one there? Stop short, Batty, 4th and 3 on the 41. And that now opens up a decision for Tilla. Does he go for this one?
I mean, these are the decisions that win games and lose.
Is this a coach's decision?
No, because he's in Newff's half.
Yeah,
so
I didn't. I forgot if he was in his half or not. I just completely derped there for a minute. So.
Yeah, it's yeah, it kind of makes sense for the game to suggest him to go for it here. It's the long field goal. You're in a bit of no man's land, and it's a Super Bowl for fuck's sake. So.
Time to think about what play gets you 3 yards.
Don't like any of these, to be honest.
Yeah, those audible options are not brilliant. I can't lie to you. Hands this one off to the right side, and that's going to be stopped and dropped, Batty, as the Titans here get it back on the 40. 1st and 10. Sean Tilla dead to be great, but and it's surprising, Batty, because he's done so well tonight, is Tilla throwing the football. You'd think when he needs 3 yards, maybe a short zig route across something, he would have maybe went for a throw, but opted to run now, Ollie Gordon, then gets stopped and dropped, especially when Newff's run defense has been so pivotal tonight. And there's Sean Tilla's run defense. There you go. That's what we want to see from Sean Tilla. That level of run game defense from the Irishman there. Absolutely huge. Knocks and drops Newff back by 1 yard. 2nd and 11. That's the 2-minute warning for this first half in this Super Bowl. Season 6 Fantasy League Super Bowl. Final contest of Madden 25, very much his hit here. Anthony Richardson stepping up, needs to be great. The Tennessee Titans looking, goes underneath, and Keon Coleman here gets over and beyond. 48-yard line, 1st and 10 for Newff. Will Newff be thinking here, Batty, to play this uber aggressively? Will he be thinking about a touchdown? Or will it just be get forward, get the field goal, and go from there?
I think you just ring what's kind of going on in your head, and then run plays that you've got the 1 or 2 options.
Oh no, that's absolutely horrendous from Newff. That's really poor. Completely watched all the way, and Sean Tilla with another interception as Taylor Demison gets that one off. What is he thinking of there, babe? That is so un-Newff-like. You just allowed that to happen.
Yeah, it's so I mean, they're both so good at kind of defending the outside of the sticks, you know, just outside the numbers, between the numbers and the hashes, like that kind of area. They're just both ball hawks in that department. Every time you kind of see them, Jesus Christ.
Look at that, just four Titans right towards him as that linebacker blitz stops him, instantly drops him back by 3. Sean Tilla not exactly in field goal range, though, at this minute in time. Needs a couple more yards, and we'll be looking to maybe play that safe brand of football to get there. However, nothing safe about this one. Left-hand side, Taylor gets round, and now onto the 36. Now we're in field goal range as Sean Tilla not using any of his timeouts here, Batty. What do you make of that?
Makes sense. I want to try and make the Titans use one first, but Newff's probably just comfortable going to half-time. Believe he gets the ball back, doesn't he? So
I think so. So if he goes in 6-3 down, he's not going to be too pressed whatsoever. Exactly. Honey Badger here lining up. He's shifted Honey Badger down into almost a linebacker position. And again, that's a great stop there. 4th and 4. And there's the timeout. And now Tilla's going to take that field goal to make this one 6-3.
No, it'd be so Newff to block this.
And return it, imagine.
Be so Newff, yeah. I mean, he's not gone for it, which I would have, but my world.
That could be a miss. He's timed out there. Well, that was smart there from Tilla. That would have been an absolute miss. Maybe the shaky hands getting to Tilla here.
It's not an easy field goal. Like,
54 yards. You'd think he should make it.
yeah, he should.
As this one goes up, and absolutely good. 6-3, 3 field goals, the story of this first half. I mean, listen, it would be one of the more quote-unquote boring Super Bowl games, but just field goals galore, but that shows you good defense in abundance.
It's like Patriots Rams.
Yeah. Well, listen, 15 seconds. If there's one person you think that can get a large batch of yards in 15 seconds, you think about Matimbu, you think about Pickens, maybe you put Newff on that list, maybe you don't. However, we'll see what he can do with 2 timeouts and 15 seconds to go. Can he get within touching distance of making this a 6-6 game? Right now, if he can, it's fantastic. If he can't, then, well, he'll go into the halftime whistle behind. But with him getting the ball back, it's not really doom and gloom for the Canadian just yet. Here we go then, 30-yard line. Richardson sending some motion here onto this right-hand side. AR looking to be an assault rifle player, and in the end it's no gain of yards. 2nd and 10, and said stays in bounds, doesn't he? And there's no timeout called, so the runoff here is going to pretty much be apparent. So there was
it's incomplete.
It was incomplete, was it? Fair enough.
I'm
just silly. I'm just stupid. That's fine. Richardson again, looking, scanning, left side, and gets out for another attempt here. 3rd and 10, 6 seconds. It needs to be by a piss missile down the field here. Get down, timeout instantly. That's what you're going to need to do if you're new. You can't take any time on this one. Running forward and gets down. 49-yard line. I think that's going to be obviously too much, Batty, and it doesn't look like the field goal is going to happen. But again, that run game very much being mixed in by Newff and giving him a huge gain of yards there. Tilla rightfully so coming out and prevent. 2 seconds remaining. Can Newff fire one into that Packers end zone? Let's see. Richardson scanning, looking at right side, that corner, maybe. No, that one thrown again on the hit, and it's another interception. But not going to see... Not going to see too much here as he's dropped down. But so many interceptions from Newff so far. I mean, granted, that last one doesn't really mean too much, but are you surprised by that? Neon, going into this game, only predicted, based off the data that these two have recorded this season, 3 interceptions combined. I think we've seen 6 in that first half.
That's a 6, really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, that's it's very high. It's very un-Newff-like. Maybe this is, you know, the kind of end of the cycle, haven't played the game in a few days, kind of coming out here, but I have to absolutely give credit to this Packers defense too, because I had the exact same issue. Whenever I attacked, like, kind of underneath or middle, I was struggling to get separation. The only way I really got through was by either running outside or bombing it to, you know, a mismatch on DK or Malik Neighbours, but you know, I think we're going to need to see... Oh, Tilla gets ball as well.
No, there you go, Tilla gets ball. Okay, we were both wrong. We were both absolutely completely incorrect. And maybe we've guided Newff poorly in that regard then. Oh, that's horrendous from the Packers receiver there. Jesus Christ.
Not even looking at the fucking ball.
Playing hot potato, and that there, 2nd and 10 on the 30. Ryan, I did see your question as well. You're all in, mate. Don't worry. You'll see your likeness in our Madden 26 save. Don't you worry. But yeah, if you've submitted a form, you're 100% in. Don't worry. Your player will be a fit. Oh, there's connection issues. Maybe caused that one to flake a little bit. And I think that was Tilla's connection as well. I think on the flicker it said your network connection was a little bit flaky there. So Tilla's got to make sure that the household not on the net right now. You can hear those
I don't think.
Those 1990s router sounds, those dial-up noises in my head. But 3rd and 10, huge opportunity for Newff here to limit the bleed, but that's a great find. But he's dropped it. 4th and 10, incomplete. And that is a great start on defense again. You weren't joking when you said, Batty, that this Canadian fella here has got the best defense in the Fantasy League. He is looking sharp, isn't he?
Yeah. It's the defense with, you know, combined with these kind of players and, you know, the abilities and the individual players, the grow that they've kind of had.
God, look at, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Does he want to go down? Or?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, let me give you that. Let me pose that question to you here, and it's a positive or negative one. What has surprised you, either positive or negatively, more? Newff's incredible defense so far, or is just inconsistent and maybe lack of rhythm in offense? Are you surprised at how poor the offense has been at the Titans?
yeah, I am. You know, there's fucking hell.
Yeah,
He's
again,
getting a little bit. I expected kind of the storyline of this game to be a lot more kind of Packers explosiveness, Titans defense kind of keeping them in, and then as the game went on, Newff's got enough in his, you know, like we're saying now, where he's got enough in his locker, he's got enough ways in his locker to attack a game. You know, he's seen him come out in tight eye form, he's coming out in empty, he's trying different things, he's now, you know, attacking that kind of middle area with different route combos, and I think just as the game goes on, you're going to make mistakes, but he's kind of
right
good
side.
enough
That's a great diving catch there onto the 27, and now he's getting that mojo together, Matty. He is looking like he's starting to cook up here. 27-yard line, 1st and 10 as we proceed onwards, but really, really good stuff so far.
Yeah, good start to the drive.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big confidence boost. I mean, AR's had about 5 interceptions.
Because respect. The one thing that's scaring me is these jukes, these spin moves. Okay, fair enough. I keep forgetting about the abilities being absolutely horrendously smelly and just stinking of piss.
Tank's easily like the best ability in the game.
Yeah, I know. When I was playing in another practice league and seeing fucking, not Bijan Robinson, some small running back, like he looked like he was 5'7", like a child. Yeah. And I looked afterwards, he's got Tank, and I'm like, I can't make him fumble because he's got Tank. It's great. Yeah. It's like a schoolboy running forward with the grip of a fucking gorilla. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be able to win this one here, but Anthony Richardson so far.
That's screen. That's
it's a flag
illegal
though.
Man downfield.
And that could well be illegal man downfield. So a good bit of reprieve there for Tilla. Illegal contact. Wow.
Oh,
I am okay. That's surprised by I thought it was a legal man downfield as well. I'm really surprised by that.
I wasn't really looking where Tilla's user was. I was looking at the running back, but I presume he's just kind of. Oh, what a find!
Oh, that's a great find. Oh my God, he kept upright and gets the first down bat. He pushed over as that pitch buck zero. Keeps on. I tell you this much: every single time, Sean. I don't think there's been one instance in this game that I can recall where Sean Tilla has man blitzed, where it has led to some sort of positive outcome. Every time he's man blitzed, Newff has absolutely had a field day. He'll be inviting that more and more.
Which is weird to me because when you blitz Tilla, he punishes you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He should kind of know he's very, very good against the blitz. Like, I couldn't send more than 5 really, because every time he did, he just punished me like immediately. So I'm very kind of surprised. But
Richardson, oh my God, one hand catch there! Wow, Keon Coleman,
that's the big physical receiver coming in there,
covered by 2 Green Bay Packers there, batting and brings it in with one hand. The first touchdown of this Super Bowl here tonight. And right now, Newff, last season's winner, 10-6 up. What a third quarter Newff has had. The stop on defense and then the most smooth bit of offense he's had all game so far. 10-6 in what would be, if it ended right now, the lowest scoring Super Bowl the league has ever seen across either division. For Tilla, it's now about, you know, doing the same. You've got to get out of this field goal routine. He's got to find the end zone and start to make it more difficult for Newff.
Yeah, I like going back to, you know, trying to get a bit of success with hitting downfield, but equally you came up against this Titans defense, and I think Newff knows it.
Oh, he's got it, and Newff has got the ball off the fumble. Oh, it's a nightmare second half for Sean Tilla. Will Levis has forsaken him back.
Coming in.
Oh, wow. And you said it just a minute ago. You said it just a minute ago. The turn of momentum, the shift has happened. Newff here is now very much in control of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now you expect. I would be honestly fine just trying to take this as close to the 4th quarter as possible and then kicking. Yeah. I think that's just as valuable as getting 7.
You don't need to tell me that. You know me. We speak. Yeah, I'm the most conservative guy in the fucking world, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're the same mindset. Of
Mr. 35 field goals a season over here.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of Skanata, Pickens, me, we're all like conservative as shit, and we would rather kind of just take the time off and kick a fucking field goal in some circumstance, especially in a game of this caliber.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Take your
I've
points
thrown
in it.
5 fucking picks. I'm just running this fucking clock
Yep.
down, mate.
100%.
Conservative, the whole fucking lot. I don't care.
Well, 3rd and 11 here, 29-yard line. Anthony Richardson is directing traffic. Hands this run off to the right side
Great
here.
run.
And I tell you again, numbers. Wow, he's still
Oh
up.
my-
Oh my god! Oh, he's been maddened. Oh, he's
That's
been maddened.
tank.
Oh,
That's
god.
tank.
I hate abilities. I hate them. Oh, I hate them. If I conceded that touchdown, baby, I would be on fucking Saturn. Touchdown. Tank is an ability. Welcome to Madden, lads. Oh, Tilla, I'm so sorry. Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Petition to ban it for next season.
Oh my god, that is horrendous, Batty. He ate not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 hits, it felt like there. And Newff now with an 11-point lead. You know, we both have spoken to Newff. I can hear Newff's laugh in my head as that
he's
happened.
pissing himself
He is
right
absolutely loving that right now. 11 points up, 2 scores up, and now Tilla's got a bit of a mountain to climb. I mean, do you look at this?
An interesting fact for you, by the way, Aaron. I believe like the 10 highest rushers in the league in season 1, and I think 8 out of the top 10 in season 2 all had tank.
Yeah, I can see why. That's a huge sack again. Josh finds Allen for a loss of 11.
His whole team's just
I'm going to ask.
Fucking sick gear now.
I'm posing the question to you now. That touchdown followed by that sack. The last time I felt this way was when I actually watched you play. And I don't remember what round it was or what week it was, but it was the same thing that happened to you. Conceded a really bullshit touchdown, then you dropped and you got sacked instantly. And I said at that point, watching the game, that your head had gone. Has Sean Tilla's head gone?
I don't. You're right. You're in a like. There's nothing, kind of. You're in a situation where it's like fucking do or die. So I don't know because I'm not him, but like I'm really fucking hating.
And it's another sack, Batty. Batty asked the question again.
Like,
is his head gone? 3rd and 31.
Yeah. I think he hasn't got enough time. Like you go from this whole kind of offense that he's got. He relies on good blocks, good fucking route running from his receivers. And Ollie Golden's been absent.
Yeah.
Like Evan Ingram's kind of turned up, and it's just look at all the glowing fucking X's on the Titans' defense.
He's got to be careful about safety here. Will Levis is going. Will Levis though.
My world.
It's a huge game. 4th and 15 though in the end. So again, 16 yards, and in the end it won't be enough, and he has
honestly,
to punt this one.
I think if I'm Tilla here, I'm like maybe I score as many points with my defense as I do offense here.
Do you think, though, that's the thing now?
That might be a best chance.
Newff 11 points up on the 35. Does Newff need to throw the ball again, Batty?
Not at all. Especially when you got fucking Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking read option, triple option, speed option. Like, bring the college offense out.
Boy, that's a good... Oh, my God, again. Again, Kenneth Walker.
Tank.
Oh, God. I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this. So many people in the fantasy league were like, oh, mate, like the way that you play Madden, it is with abilities because they're there, you've got to use them. I watch shit like this and I'm like,
this should be a fucking
man.
message to every person in the fucking league to set your players up right because this is a fucking difference.
Look at that, Smith wide open, spins and turns, and here he keeps going. Smith now getting the rub of the green, down to the 28. I think Tilla is just screaming at his monitor right now. Even in the first quarter, when this was a tight game, Batty, even then you saw Newff's players bouncing and pinballing around, and I mean he is just not getting any of that. Tank, rub of the green, all of that. I mean it's just a complete takeover. The first half and the second half performance of Newff and his team, night and day difference. He is storming this now, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Sean Tilla because he's had a hell of a season, but honestly, if he scores here, makes this 24-6, I think this is game over. 18 points in a quarter, I think it's too much against someone of Newff's quality. I do.
Yeah, I think you gotta limit him to 3 here, and you've also gotta lead yourself probably 5 minutes when you get the ball back to even have a chance, and then you got to try and dissect this defense where everybody's, you know, roided up and wants to kill your quarterback. So it's probably the most difficult fucking scenario we might
And
have
here
had
it comes,
in the league's
batting
history.
Kenneth Walker
Yep.
into the end zone, touchdown, 24-6, and the Titans look like it's going to be back-to-back Super Bowls. And I'll tell you this much, Batty, there will be an abundance of fantasy league players that are watching this game tonight, watching Newff tonight, and almost having a sigh of relief that they will not have to see this guy back in their league, back in their division, back in their conference in the fantasy league in Madden 26. He says, bon voyage, sayonara, I'm going to the franchise league, back to where I started Madden 25. And again, that opens the doors. It keeps it fresh. It keeps it spicy. You know, you talk about the guy that's won the last 2 Super Bowls. He won't be there. You talk about Rolly Football, who I think went 16-1 in the regular season. He's also going to the franchise league. You're removing 2 players, and now maybe you're going to see some new contenders for the Lombardi in Madden 26. Yeah. I mean, incredible. And for Sean Tilla, I mean, I guess it's a sour one because you have such a great season. And you look so incredible in the last round of the playoffs, and you look like you've improved so much from, you know, your last spell in the franchise league. But just to have it melt this way, because I look at this performance, I don't think Tilla has played badly. I just think the abilities, I think the odd bundle, the odd bounce has really benefited Newff here. But that's Madden. You have to expect it to happen, especially when you're playing with abilities, no?
Yeah, I think it's just a combination of you know, the second I felt last year or last season, the exact same thing. Like first half I was kind of okay, and then second half I started to actually think about like, oh fuck, I'm in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So, and I think at half time you're going in 3 points up, you probably feel quite good with these interceptions, and then, you know, first drive you don't really get anything going, you pump back, and then you start seeing this Titans offense getting separation, and then you see umpteen numerous players glowing on defense, and it's just like, okay, what the fuck do I do? Yeah,
another huge sack. Josh Hines Allen, Batty, 5 sacks. That's an MVP, surely. That's the MVP right there. It's got to be.
We might actually say defensive MVP, yeah. Like, that would be wild, but like 5 sacks in a fucking Super Bowl, like, that would be talked about for centuries.
Yep, he's had a game and a half. Remember as well, for you guys that are, and nearly a 6 there, for you guys that are watching tonight in the Fantasy League, and a dislocated shoulder for Ollie Gordon. It goes from bad to worse. The MVP is out of this one, out for the rest of this game, and out for, of course, the remainder of this season now with that dislocated shoulder. For you guys watching in the Fantasy League, stay with us. It's not going to be really a grand reveal because, again, we know that the Fantasy League, it's more about what division and what uniforms you're getting rather than teams, because the Fantasy League has a fantasy draft. Just because, for example, you get New England in this Fantasy League doesn't mean you're going to have Drake May. You could end up with Patrick Mahomes depending on who you draft. As another sack comes forward, as this time it's the big man number 95 that gets it down. So we're going to reveal to you what unis you guys have in Madden 26 immediately after this game, and we're going to show you a visual picture of what the divisions and what the conferences look like here after this game as well. So you'll be able to see who you're playing twice a season, who 6 of your 17 games a season are going to be.
Maybe
a deep bomb here down the center, and it's picked off by Diggs, Trayvon Diggs there with an absolute wonderfsul interception. And Newff here is surely, Batty, going to be your season. Your season. Yeah. Oh my God, he's riding his helmet there. He's going to be your season 6 Fantasy League Super Bowl winner. He's going to end Madden 25 with 3. Granted, people will say, well, they don't all count. One's the franchise league, one's the two's the fantasy league, but they all count. This guy has got a Lombardi trophy in his room, and in about 5 to 6 minutes time from now, he's going to have 2 Super Bowl fantasy rings in his room also. He may well be one of the guys to watch in Madden 26 in the franchise league. Of course, though, he's got a bit of a project by I think it's is it the Colts that he's got? Forget, I think it is the Indianapolis Colts that he's got, so a bit of a challenge there for him.
Yeah, who are you saying? Tilla or Newff?
Newff.
Newff. Yeah, he's got the Colts in the melee league, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So
would he find rebuilding that team tricky, do you think?
Well, he's going to be familiar with the quarterback. You
It's
know,
true,
he's
yeah, it's
just
true.
spent 2 seasons with him.
I think CJ said
I
that he's been
think
nerfed a little bit, Richardson. No? He said someone, I
yeah,
know
he
he said,
probably
he was saying
has,
CJ
but like,
Stroud. He said CJ Stroud got nerfed a little bit.
yeah, I was going to say, like, the thing is, even if like Anderson is a 70 or a 68, like the physicals are there, and Newff's a good enough player that you can just develop that kind of player.
Yeah.
You
I
know, and
still,
that
I still
Titans
can't
team
believe.
ain't going for it year one.
Yeah,
You
of
know, you're
course.
nowhere near going for it. So, but he does have, you know, not Titans, sorry, Colts.
Colts,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
I'm still amazed
They
that Geno
lost a few
Smith's an
key
8
pieces.
overall. I couldn't believe that, but I'm happy with that. Not doing it for a
Yeah,
year.
yeah. It's been quietly, you know, he's quietly been top kind of 20
You've seen his
quarterback the
stats as well.
last kind of 3-4 years.
He's got good
No,
speed, but
no.
it's like he's got 91 short, like 85 medium, and then like 82 deep. They're serviceable.
Yeah, I mean, he's also like quietly fast as well.
Yeah, 87 speed, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
quite decent.
that's about bang on, I'd say, like 87, 86.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kenneth Walker here today, 20 rushes, 133 yards back. Will that be one area that Tilla will be a little bit disappointed in himself with as well? Came in with the #1 rush defense in the league, but conceded 133 yards to Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough pill to swallow. You're kind of thinking to yourself, what the fuck did it go wrong? You know, because there was a point in the game where, you know, both of them were averaging maybe 3 yards a carry, and then just the gaps started to open up.
That's going to be a marching back of 5 yards. That takes it from 4th and inches to 4th and 5. And when it rains, it pours. And for Tilla here, he will have an opportunity now to get back with some sort of consolation score. Newff not able to do too much after that one. 12-yard line is where we start. I mean, realistically, then, Batty, you know, the last 2 seasons in particular of the Fantasy League, you know, it's been one that you've been involved in. You were in the Super Bowl last year. You were in Tilla's shoes last year. When you look at Newff, 2 seasons combined, has he been high and beyond the best player? Does him leaving excite you because of what now presents as an opportunity, or do you think there's been other people in there that will kind of relish the opportunity further? Maybe someone like a Tilla, maybe someone like a Mailbag. What do you think?
I think it just opens up, you know, like you'd have, it's a weird comparison to make, but it's almost like, you know, wide receivers in real life. You've got like Jamal Chase and then other bracket of about 6 fucking guys that could be the wide receiver too, right? And it's a very similar thing, you know. He built his team well, you know. He went in with a kind of got a trade off that kind of transformed his team, and trained Penix for Anthony Richardson. Then he just worked with it, you know. Drafted Kenneth Walker pretty early on, drafted a fucking incredible front 7, pretty decent secondary, Devontae Smith, good young receiver, and Keon Coleman. So, you know, just drafted very well, built his team kind of year 1. I don't even think he was probably expecting to get it year 1. And then looked to me like he kind of built his team in that way, but he made it work. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he compares to, you know, these guys that have got a wee bit more time on the game. And overall, you know, we've seen him win it. What, did he win the first one of Madden 25 in the main league?
Yep, with the Bears. Yeah. Correct, yep.
So does he carry it on? Is he one of these that's ahead of the curve, and then as the year goes on, people catch up? You know, it seems like he could be that kind of player. So if he starts the season off strong, maybe he gets it.
Yep, especially when you think Pickens is going to have the Saints, Davis going to have the Giants, Kiz with the Buccaneers, Hughes with the Cardinals. You're not really talking about ready to compete teams. I mean, granted, the Colts are the same situation as well, but I guess it all comes down to how quickly you acclimatise and adapt to the game. But tonight, there's been nothing about acclimatization. There's been nothing about adaptation. It was a very tight first half. Tilla did a great job in making it a contest, 6-3 at one point. But then it was just a sequence of unfortunate events. That Bundley touchdown, 2 large sacks. He went from 1st and 10 to 3rd and 31. I think it was something like that. Almost kind of instantly afterwards. Did his head fly off his shoulders? Did it not? The reality is, Sean Tilla, one of the people this year in Madden 25 that has improved tenfold. And again, he will continue to knock on the door and say, I want to get back into that franchise league. I want to be there permanently. Of course, you know, he's not a priority due to the last 2 times, but he will be hopeful that a spot that opens up. And again, with some of the strength divisions we've seen in the franchise league, it only takes one bad week from certain 3 or 4 or 5 people for them to completely explode and then throw their toys out the pram. Tonight, though, take nothing away from Newff. He has successfully defended and won this Super Bowl. Again, the Tennessee Titans make it 2 in a row, 24-6 for the Titans here this evening, Batty. Overall, a great game, a great first half, and a deserved winner. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think Tilla kind of stuck in, and then, you know, we just saw that sequence that Newff was able to capitalise on. I think they kind of having a more expanded playbook and just having experiences in games like this was a different second half, you know, and I think you can't take anything away from Tilla. His Green Bay defense played its absolute fucking heart out in the first half. He had a great season, lost 1 game, and yeah, just unfortunately he didn't get the run of the green at the right kind of moment. I think that, yeah, it's a great matchup by both of them, and you just kind of see that Madden is one of those games where you just gotta, when it's falling in your favour, you just have to go with it, because if you don't take it, it's going the other way.
Well, there you go. Again, 24-6 the full-time score. The only thing I want to do and check here, Batty, before we go and do the reveal for the Fantasy League and get your opinion on some of those divisions, is just get the confirmation of who got Super Bowl MVP. Because Josh Hines-Allen, like I said, 5 sacks in a Super Bowl. Surely he's got to be a front runner. I don't think you can give it to Anthony Richardson with how many interceptions he threw. Maybe Kenneth Walker because of the rushing yards, you'd think, but I don't know. I would feel, if I was watching that in real life, I would look at the stat line that we've just seen from Josh Hines-Allen, and I would feel as a Josh Hines-Allen fan, very, very robbed if he didn't get that one. So Tilla's flicking through the stats and the score summary, and he's going to click finish game here, and we're going to go and see who got that MVP. It should be available to see. If you go to league history, Tilla, I think it will already be there, ready to be seen. So you can just hit that for us. Show us who got MVP. That would be great. But again, a great season for Tilla. An even greater season for Newff. 2 in a row in the Fantasy League. And again, will be one that's he'll be relishing as he moves back now into the Franchise League. Coach of the Year as well was Rolly Football's new coach. So you go to the League tab, Tilla. Go to League tab, and it should be in League History. It should just immediately update in that. So we head over there. Should be there. League History, here it comes. Kenneth Walker. Dude, Josh Hines-Allen has been robbed there. Kenneth Walker back-to-back MVPs then, Batty. So that's something. Well, they never ever give any love to the defensive
What is the score
players.
Super Bowl against them? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I can't recall. But there you go. That one done and dusted. For now, though, fellas, I'll take a 31-20. He's flicked over to it. For now, though, fellas, for you Fantasy League players out there, we can now reveal to you what the divisions look like and what uniforms you have. Remember, the teams, you can't look at the rosters. If you have New England, you won't have Drake, mate. It's a fantasy draft again. You will be in control of what players are at your team. Here we go, then, a visual picture as to who is going where in the Fantasy League in Madden 26. This is what it looks like. Ignore all the green, but you can pretty much see who is where. So the NFC East with Swepper at the Eagles, Jack Hanna at the Giants, Batistuta at the Commanders, Corey at the Cowboys, the NFC North with Chongi at the Lions, Harold at the Vikings, Liam J at the Packers, big welcome to him, a newcomer, and DC Rapid at the Bears, the NFC South, Lawballs at the Buccaneers, Lucky at the Falcons, DLVP at the Panthers, and Doyley's finally getting his beloved Saints. The NFC West, Resin at the Rams, Prodigy Punk at the Seahawks, VRL Kieran at the Cardinals, and Razor Riley at the 49ers. The AFC East, a big welcome back to Dio the Demon, who takes the Buffalo Bills, Haig with the Miami Dolphins, Tobias with the Jets, and Sean Tilla with the New England Patriots. At the AFC North, you've got Brand 96 at the Ravens, Infamous G, a big welcome to him, a newcomer, at the Steelers, Ace 98 at the Bengals, and Mailbag at the Browns. The AFC South, CVNR at the Texans, RDEL Soul at the Colts, Matty at the Jags, TP Feng at the Titans, and then of course rounding off in Madden 26 the Fantasy League, Parson at the Chiefs in the AFC West, Old Moose at the Chargers, Bissett at the Broncos, and Wright Him at the Raiders. This could be subject to change in case someone doesn't buy the game or someone drops out. We've got kind of backups there, but that is what your Fantasy League looks like in Madden 26. Thank you as well to CJ with the raid. CJ, tell me the good news and tell me you won. Batty, for you though, looking at those divisions, what one is interesting? What one is difficult to predict? What are you looking at?
I think AFC East is, probably pretty difficult. AFC West, I don't know who wins that one either. And then, I think on the NFC side, probably NFC West in my division, to be honest, are the most interesting for me personally. But I think, Mailbag's probably high up their favourite for AFC North. AFC South, I don't really know, because I feel like RDL Soul got playing really well. Matty's a confidence player, as is Feng, so that one's quite interesting. NFC South, terrible division real life. Hope Doilies does well with the Saints. Boz started to play some really good Madden towards the end of the cycle. And then the NFC North is very, very unpredictable, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I've got no idea who's coming away with that one. Yeah, that one's actually probably the most interesting, looking at it closely. So
I did my best as well to kind of match up people with schedules, the night owls with night owls. For example, we know Haig sometimes gets home late, so put him in there. You got, a lot of the Americans together, the likes of Razor Riley, Prodigy Punk, to try and make scheduling somewhat easier for those guys as well. So again, that was these divisions made by me based on ability being a factor, but also schedule and time difference being a factor as well. For example, VRL Kieran, we know he's got one of the worst sleeping patterns in the world, so likely that he will be able to make those games against those Americans in that division work a little bit, nicer and easy. So, listen, I'm excited for it, and I think realistically, you're looking at these divisions. I think like the franchise league, by every division is competitive. I don't look at any division particular and go, he's guaranteed to win that. He's guaranteed to win that. I think there's contests all over the AFC and the NFC in that fantasy league.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah, I just noticed you've got the Edinburgh in the AFC West as well. So that'll be a good one if those guys playing each other about 12 times a cycle or a year. So I mean, AFC East is probably the hellhole division if we look at it as a whole. Dio comes back with the form he had at the start of Madden 24, then he's going to be an issue.
It all depends on how he drafts, though. A funny player, entertaining player, but one of probably the worst drafters you'll ever see. Use Josh Dobbs for so long. Will he go for Josh Dobbs again with the Bills? Only time will tell. But listen, that's it then. We're done with Madden 25 for all of you. You can now finally uninstall it. Madden 26 out on Thursday night. The Franchise League begins on August 18th. The Fantasy League begins on August 25th, with the Fantasy League draft night being on August 23rd. So put those dates in your calendars. A big thank you to everyone, though, that has made the last 12 months of VFL Madden so incredible. Like I said, the league has grown. We've went from the difference, put it into this. Madden 25, when we were waiting for Madden 25 to come out, we had a whole franchise league and we had maybe only around 12 fantasy league players. Waiting for Madden 26 to come out, we've got a whole franchise league, we've got a whole fantasy league, and about 5 to 6 people waiting to come in as backups or waiting for a spot to open up. So we're in a great and comfortable position, absolutely. A big congratulations as well to CJ, of course, in England in the end. Thank God the good guys have won after all those horrible delays earlier on. And again, a big congratulations to Big Newff. Takes home that $100 ring. He's now got a trophy and 2 rings on his bedside for his Madden 25 shenanigans, his year in general. For now, though, I got nothing else for you. It's a day off tomorrow, effectively. There's no stream tomorrow. I'm just chilling out, getting some admin work done. Tuesday, I may do rematch, but again, it'll be a kind of a light day. Wednesday, we've got F1. Thursday, we've got UFC. And then, of course, next weekend, we're going to be doing the FIFA 25 Team of the Year ceremony. So Manager of the Year, Team of the Year, etc., etc. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you so much, fellas. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you need me, I'll be on Discord. And yeah, we'll see you when we see you.